forgot to use the camera, Terry.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll do. Right, you stay there. Hello, good morning, and welcome to another episode at WhiteDetails. Today is the first frost of 2018. We have a lovely sapphire black BMW 1M that's here for the white detail treatment. Inside from the wash, very little, in fact there was only one noticeable tar deposit on the car. Clay bar, we do have some noticeable lift on the clay bar, certainly yellow, dirty tarnishing, albeit a very clean car. something really weird going on. Look at the sky. Not a cloud in sight yet. Probably can't see this on the camera. It's raining. And I can prove that. I'm showing you the wheel again. I don't know if you can see. I just dried this wheel off. It's raining. How does that work? Terry. Oops. Thank you, Bradley. Very nice example. I think I must have said that by now already. Terry's quote earlier was actually, this is actually in better nick than some of the new car preps that we have in. The vehicle has done 12,000 miles and is a 2011 car. Sapphire black in colour. We can see there is markings. It could be a lot worse. Particularly bad in that top corner there for some reason. And then there are a couple of weird little abrasions. Looks like someone's done some touch-up work here and here. Hazy spots around that, you see there. So it's not going to be a vast, it's not going to be, can you kill the light, Terry? Left hand. Oh. It's not going to be a vast turnaround, but there is room for improvements. Just the movement there to deal with. But once you knock that back, of course, we're left with maybe a couple of deeper bits. The owner is unaware of any nasties, if you will. Anything that really shouts out and stands out. Hoping that we can knock the majority of this with a couple of cuts. One thing we do know is the rear bumper has been painted, and you can work out a little bit of buffer trailing there next to the light cluster. When they've painted the bumper, they've been up mopped over the top. It's not terrible. I'm not too sure why the bumper's been painted or when or by who. Another thing I was able to point out to the owner, if you look here, there's a little bit of overspray. You can just see the vertical line, lack of overspray there from when the bumper's been done. Buffer trailing up here in the top corner. Woo. That's the worst scratch I've seen so far. Offside corner of the bumper. A little bit more visible damage on this rear wing.
Usual stuff around here.
Yeah. Nice little cluster on top of the driver's door handle. Typically this is where people will be closing the door with the paint as opposed to reaching around and grabbing the handle. Yeah, go on Bradley. So really there's not too much going on. It's a nice one back into it. It's been a couple of weeks, maybe a month actually, since the last white detail. The last couple of jobs have been minor corrections. We should get started. Roof or bonnet, Tez?
Oh, I don't know.
Should we flip for it?
If you like, don't mind. I think we.
Tails.
You did roof last time, didn't you? I did roof last on the Porsche, and you did the bonnet.
I did. No, you did the bonnet. I did the roof. There's a sunroof.
Yeah. Go on then. Tails, I'll do the bonnet.
Tails is Terry bonnet. Heads is me bonnet. Oh, here we go.
Is that heads?
What was that?
Looks like heads.
It's me.
Looks like you did the bonnet.
Right.
I get the roof.
Bonded well. This portion's had 2 cuts. I'm happy with that. There was no need to go back and do any isolation work. I've just seen Terry do some isolation work on the roof with the 3-inch, so rather than, if there was a tiny mark here, rather than do the whole buzz again with the big pad, just localize it down, small it down, like I've done on this section. So I've still got top corners to do with the hybrid getting there. I've masked off the wing to protect this, whilst I use a 3 down the edges to the perimeter, and I'll probably just use a 3 inside this ledge as well. But you see these lines, this is me marking out remaining scratches that are present, and there's a deeper one to this side of there, that one. So on a whole, this is after 1 cut, and on the most part that's all it needs. But it just needs now these fiddly little bits, pick up on the details. And I saw here there's a nicer scratch that drifts over the side. It's not really a scratch that some people would otherwise pick out. Probably the owner doesn't even know it's there, but once we get the haze out, there, what we're left chasing. Ain't that right?
Hi. Come on, little scratches. I can see you.
The same area again, it's had 4 localized cuts now just to chase them out. If there's any tails that are left now, this is after an IPA wipe down, isopropyl alcohol to strip any remaining filler or masking from the polish. That is its true natural now finish. There's a lot of different flake in this. You can see in greens, purple. It's a lot of metallic.
Oh, practice, Jim.
It's like the galaxy. Mid-morning Tuesday, bonnet roof, A to C pillar, top of the boot lid. There's some deep marks in this channel on the back here. Took some chasing around and under, it's complete. Moving on to now, I'm gonna head down the offside, tackle these light lenses first. There's some nasty abrasions on this, something's been chafed down here. Couple of deeper marks there also. It's nice getting the light clusters properly clarity, full of clarity. They really do add to the overall finish. So that's before this one's been cut and polished, yet to be refined. The microfiber cutting pad, as we use on the paintwork, actually leaves a bit of hazing behind on the lens, on the plastic, which then needs polishing before it needs refining. A little bit noticeable up there, that will be refined out with the white pad later on. Back down on the near side, I picked this out I think earlier on during the inspection. There's a series of bad marks here, but look how the defects change from the light being direct, the light being over the top. When you've got the light sort of too bloomy, it's too bright, it's too direct maybe, it hides a lot of stuff. It sort of blows the panel out. This is leading me to think that, I don't know, it's been caught on the edge of the door. There's like a sharp edge there at the top, like a masking mark. This is sanding rub marks, leading me to think that this wing may have been actually painted. After all that, I'm not even filming. 5 done. Detached, old, worn 1-inch microfiber cutting pad. 4 fresh, new 1-inch and 2-inch custom cut microfiber cutting pads. To remind you, Pristine Detail have a discount code available with WhiteDetails for these if you would like to get some for the hybrid. Discount code is on screen now, 10% off Pristine Detail. That's it, really. Just on 5:30, Tuesday, end of day 2 for the BMW. Progress is very good. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a terrible example. The paint condition could have been a lot worse. Perhaps one of the nicest cars that's come for the WhiteDetail booking in terms of its condition to begin with. So what do we have left to cut? There's a little bit left on the front bumper, this lower lip, then the 3-inch work around here, the 1-inch, 2-inch hybrid section down there is done, and then the rear bumper needs starting. There's been a couple of problem areas, a few areas that needed to, well, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 cutting passes to chase the desired results. There's going to be very little in the way of refining. Obviously it will be refined. It's just going to be an easier process than otherwise it perhaps would be. Let's say if it was obsidian black, which is a Mercedes colour and a little bit more fussy when it comes to cutting. So it's a haircut for me first thing in the morning. Terrier's going to be in left on the rear bumper, perhaps start the wheel coatings, get them sealed, calipers cleansed, sorted, protected, exhausts. Maybe some undercarriage work. This has actually had a wax oil treatment under there anyway. And then it's going to be on to paint protection. On refinements, engine bay needs some more fettling before dressing. Engine dressing, refining, interior, paint protection. Easy job. That's better. I feel a bit exposed and vulnerable now and cold. I've lost my winter coat. Polishing's complete. Front bumper's sorted. Terrier's finalised the rear bumper. Didn't get any before footage of them, but there's the little tiny 1-inch strips here. Call them B-pullers if you will. Now, before we go on to refining, got the wheel coating work in progress here. Carbon collective platinum wheels. Before refining is the engine bay, but before the engine bay, we're going to look underneath on this one. Speaking of carbon collective, good focus. What have we got under here? So the underside of this has been wax oiled, protected. Gonna avoid obviously wanting to strip all that off. But exhausts, these are going to be polished up. Bit of heavy tarnishing on the bottoms there, should be lifted alright. Get the box polished and the pipe work. Not really much to do at the back, to be honest. Get the bottoms of the body panels here polished up by hand. The same under here, under the sill. It's not too deep actually. Get the calipers done, get the front bumper polished, and then give the under tray a bit of a wipe over, because otherwise it's not too bad. And there's your jacking point. Let me dressed before it's down. The underside of the bumpers polished up. Underneath the side skirt, polished up. Exhausts to follow later on. Got the third wheel being coated. And I'm about to tackle the engine bay. end of the refining set. This is worth seeing. This is yet to be IPA'd or panel wiped or whatever, prepped for coatings. This is the finished article, this is the finished paint. Sapphire black, looking the best it ever has, for this vehicle anyway. Well ahead of the game, wheels are coated already, calipers have been prepped. Leaves paint protection, it leaves interior, it leaves glass, door sills, door shuts even.
Hi.
Exhaust.
I am.
An exhaust.
I'm exhausted.
Alright. So see you tomorrow.
I'll see you on tomorrow. Ooh. That's cool.
What I was gonna do is Thursday morning, last day for the BM. Sent in the post last week, wasn't filming last week, but I cheekily opened the parcel. Some goodies. Sent from Imran Hussain from Into Detailing. Thank you, sir. The product is a detail guards product. You remember the detail guards, these featured on the vlog earlier this year or late last year. This sits underneath the wheel outside when you're washing. There's 4 of these. It prevents the hose from trapping underneath the wheel, getting wedged, stuck underneath. Quite an interesting concept. But Daniel Shapani from the Detail Guards has been in touch, and Imran has sent the latest turbine dirt lock bucket filter. It's a grit guard. There are a few around these days. This one's had a bit of time and thought put into it. The idea being that for a grit guard, if you're unaware, is it sits in the bottom of your 20 litre bucket, dirt that comes off the car, albeit there shouldn't be much loose stuff left on the car by the time you come to touch it because you've rinsed it off with the pressure washer. It sits below the grid and it prevents it swirling back up through the swirl turbine tech grid and prevents your wash mitt from being contaminated. 2 of these go in the buckets. In Daniel's words, I'm doing my best to design products that aren't just gimmicks to steal detailers' hard-earned money. Something innovative, well thought out and quality built is what we need, and these will deliver. I've seen a fair few, made in Canada, I've seen a fair few posts on these and discussions on discussing groups on Facebook and forums. Are they any good? I've no idea. It's still wrapped up. I haven't yet used this. We will replace what we're using currently with these new turbine systems. If it's something you're interested in, there is a discount available with Into Detailing for the grit guards and anything else that you may be interested in. Details are on screen now. Head over to Imran's site. Information can be found down below. Alexa, volume 1. That's the paint protection down. She's nearly there. Got the underside of the bonnet. What's the orange thing? Underside of the bonnet, inside the doors to polish. Make sure they're free of dust, polish and dust, smears, that sort of stuff. Toothpickery complete. What I've learned with the toothpickery, what I mean by toothpickery, toothpick in the cloth, and you find the little detail areas. All these little specks, the spots, polish residue, built up polish residue, dirt, splatter, previous and new that we've left behind, potentially from the cutting. The best thing to do is not look for it, but go and find it. Now what I mean by that is don't just only do the bits that you can see with polish residue, do every single panel gap. So occasionally the larger wooden skewer, that's from a meat kebab skewer, comes out, but on the most part a toothpick. I'll go down the side of the car and show you an example. Panel gap here, I will go around the M, I will go inside the door jamb, I will do this little section here. The door shut itself is separate. I will go both sides of the A pillar in this, making sure the rubbers down here are free, up over the top of the rubber of the windscreen. Inside the rubber channel that runs on the top of the roofline here, down in here, underneath the trim, inside the handle, around the handle, inside this panel gap. You get the idea. Don't just look for it, go and find it. It's there, even if it's not white flaky polish. It's a worthwhile thing to cleanse these areas. Alexa, volume 4. So that's my black BMW 1M complete. Not much of a episode, not much of a turnaround, because it was such a nice example to begin with. There wasn't much to show in the way of, look at this dirty interior, or look at this grubby steering wheel, or look at these hammered wheels, or look at this heavily scratched paintwork. It was nice, but it looks nicer now. Thank you again to Imran Hussain from Into Detailing, Graham from Pristine Detail for the microfiber cutting pads, the 1 inch and 2 inch for the hybrid. Paint protection for the BMW courtesy of Kamikaze Collections, the pan coat, wheel protection, exhaust and caliper with carbon collective platinum wheels. If you would like to see more of this sort of content, give the video a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe if you're not already. It's a nice bright sunny November day out there. I'm going to utilise the sun, get some nice after footage of the car. That said, filming again next week, all being well, on a Maserati Quattroporte, the original Quattroporte, early 90s. Take care, speak soon.